Welcome everyone to Yoga Basics. Today the props that we will be using are a yoga strap or a belt, if you have one, and a yoga block, and have your chair nearby too, so you can grab it if you need it for the balance postures. All right, making yourself comfortable on the mat. When you sit on the mat, you can either fold your legs or keep them extended, whatever comfortable. And I recommend sitting up on a couple folded blankets just to lift the hips. You want to try to have your hips either even or a little higher than your knees. It will help to tilt that pelvis forward to prevent the rounding of the back. All right. And then we'll just take a few moments here to prepare the body and the mind for our practice. So closing the eyes and just turning the attention inward. Taking a moment to notice how your body feels. Especially noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then we'll take 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale it all out by blowing or sighing it out. And then one more nice big inhale. And exhale it all out. Soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck and the shoulders. And then turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale. Notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice, even breathing, inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue with this nice, even breathing. If at any time it makes you lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we also set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. And if you did have your legs folded and you want to switch that top leg, go ahead and do that. And then we'll begin the warm-up by turning our heads to look out over that right shoulder. And coming back to center and turning to look out over the left. And back to center, dropping the chin to the chest. And then picking the chin up towards the ceiling and jetting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And back to center and left ear to left shoulder. And back to center, extending the hands out in front, open and close the fingers. And then some wrist circles. And reverse. And then bringing the hands back to the lap, we'll do some shoulder shrugs. Just picking them up, pulling them back down. I always hear a lot of popping and cracking going on. So normally that doesn't mean anything bad, so just warming them up. All right, and then picking those shoulders up, rolling them to the back. Good. And then bringing the shoulders down to neutral, extending the elbows out to the side, fingertips touching. Try not to move your torso and just lift and lower each elbow. Just working the scapula in a little different plane here. Good. And then go ahead and bring those arms back down. And then taking that right hand, placing it to the outside of the right hip. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale, just a nice easy bend to the right. Warming up this side of the body. Inhale back to center. And then lifting that right arm and extending over to the left. Good. And then releasing back to center. And coming into a twist, we'll take the left hand, place it on the right knee. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring that right hand around behind you as you turn to look out over the right shoulder. Good. And then releasing back to center, switch hands. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, turn and look to the left. Good. And then release back to center. Go ahead and extend the legs out in front of you. If you did have them crossed, go ahead and just shake them out a little bit. Get that blood flowing again. And then we'll take our hands, place them behind the right thigh, pull that knee in and extend it out. And then the next time you pull that knee in, hold it there, and then point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles and reverse. Good. And then the other leg, same thing. We'll start with that bending and extending the knee. And the next time you pull it in, hold it there, point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. And then bringing that left leg back to the mat, We'll go ahead and come onto our hands and knees. If you would like to open up your blanket or a little extra padding, go ahead. And you may want to open your blanket a little wider because we are eventually going to come down laying on the mat for our extended warm-up. So if you want to go ahead and open it up now, maybe just fold the blanket back a little bit to keep your hands on the mat. All right, so coming onto hands and knees, stack those wrists under the shoulders, knees hip-width apart and right under the hips. And coming into cat-cow as you inhale, arching the spine. And then exhale, round the spine, drop the chin to the chest, press into your hands. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Let's try it once more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bringing the hips back to neutral, we'll come into child's pose. And if you want, if child's pose is difficult to bring those hips all the way back to your heels, then try staying here and grabbing your block, turning your block up, and then resting your forehead here. You can also take, if you have another blanket or bolster, put that on the back of the thighs and have that help support you too. So I don't want you to feel like you can't do child's pose. There's always a modification that you can do. All right, so continuing to support the head here, just take a few more breaths. I can get this on here. And then extending the arms out in front of you, just put your block to the side, we'll come into either puppy pose, remember is our modification for downward facing dog, extending those arms, just dropping the chest down, staying here, or pressing the hands into the mat, curl your toes, lift those hips, and then really pressing into the base of the index finger and thumb, extending through the arms and the shoulders. Keep a bend in the knees, holding here, or walking the dog. So just straightening one leg and then the other. Continue to breathe. Good. Now come back down to the mat, bring those knees down. And then I'm going to further extend my blanket. From here, go ahead and just turn to your side. And we'll start on your right side. So have your right side on the mat. And then we're going to lower ourselves down. And we're going to do some warm-ups, some hip warm-ups here. So you can either just rest your hand on your upper arm, really whatever is comfortable for you. If you like to prop your head up a little bit, go ahead and do that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to make sure your hips are in line with your shoulders. And we're going to just take this top leg. So just take your left knee, pull it in towards you, and extend it out. So pull it in, extend it out. Good. Just kind of warming it up here. These are all hip warm-ups that we're going to be doing. Good. All right, now bend that knee, place it on top of the right knee. So have your knees bent. Keep your ankles together and just lift that left knee up and down. This is called the clam. You may have done this in exercise class. You're warming up the glutes now, so the muscles around the hip. And you can experiment, you know. I would bring your knees somewhat forward just so you're not stressing that low back. All right, good. Last time here. Now, keep your knees together and just lift your left heel up and down. So now you can see we're doing the opposite. We did an external rotation with the clam. This is an internal rotation of the hip. And as we do these warm-ups, you should never feel any discomfort or pain. Immediately stop what you're doing. Good. Couple more. Good. All right. Bring that left ankle down. Now, go ahead and extend your legs. Here's where you probably will want to extend your arm and just rest your head down. So keeping the right leg straight, you're just going to lift and lower the left leg. Good. Let's do 2 more. And then I'm going to give you a little challenge. You can continue. We'll just do like 4. You can continue doing what we just did, or you can lift and lower both legs. So just a little extra challenge there. Good. Last one here. Good. All right, let's switch over to the other side. You can just roll over or whatever you need to do to see me. I'm going to switch. All right. So keeping that, let's see, left knee bent, the right knee now will come in and extend out. You can point your toe if you'd like on the way out, or you can flex. Good. Let's do 2 more. Good. Then bending that right knee now, placing it on top of the left. Keep the ankles together. We'll come into our clam. Good. 2 more. Good. And then we'll do that reverse of this now. So knees together, lift the right ankle up and down. Good. 2 more. Good. All right. And you can use your right hand to support you. Extend the legs straight out. Try not to roll back. Try to stay on that, what would that be, your left hip. And then lift and lower the right leg. So try to keep the pelvis more forward rather than rolling back onto the hips. Good. All right. So you're either going to continue with the one leg or do our little challenge of both. Good. Last one. Good. All right. Just take a moment to rest it out. And then from here, we're going to come up to standing. So you'll want to push yourself back up and then either back onto hands and knees, step your foot forward, or rolling back onto the balls of the feet to come up. All right, and then go ahead and put your blanket to the side. And just make sure your chair is close, because you may want to grab it for our standing posture. All right, So as we come into standing, we'll go ahead and start in Tadasana. So finding the four corners of the feet, balancing the weight between the inner and outer edges of the balls of the feet back to the inner and outer edges of the heels. You should be able to wiggle those toes. Tighten the front of the thighs, arms alongside the body, palms facing each other. Lift and tighten the abdominals. Focus on the spine, lengthening up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Good. And then picking the shoulders up, rolling them down the back, chest is lifted. And then gazing forward and taking a few breaths here. Good. All right. So the second posture we're going to be doing is tree pose. So if you would like to grab your chair and bring it over next to you, go ahead and do that. We'll stand on the right side of the chair if you have it facing forward, or just have your left side next to the chair. So we'll shift the weight into the left leg, bend the right knee, take it out on that diagonal, and then you can slide that right foot over if you need to keep the ankle or your right foot against the left ankle. Go ahead and do that. Bring the hands to prayer. See if you can hold here. Or bring the right foot to the outside of the left calf. Or reach down and bring it up to the left inner thigh. You can keep a hand on the chair, maybe one hand to the heart. Find your gazing point. And then extend either that one arm up. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Both arms up here. Good. Continue to breathe. So whatever is a challenge for you, you want to keep that good form. So if holding on helps you do that, then that would be more important. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then slowly release those arms down. Release that right leg. Walk it out a little bit. And then we'll try it on the other side. All right, so here we go. Same thing. Shift the weight over to the right leg now. Excuse me, bend that left knee. Take it out on that diagonal. So wherever you need to be, you can be here. You can bring that left foot up to the calf. You can keep a hand on the chair. Bring it up to the inner thigh. Again, one arm on the chair or both up. Good. Keep those abs tight. Find your gazing point and breathe. Good, and then with the exhale, go ahead and release those arms. Release that left leg, shake it out, and just walk it out a little bit. And then go ahead and put your chair to the side. And coming into the middle of the mat, we're going to come into a nice wide stance for warrior two and side angle. So as you step those feet wide, you want to bring them as wide as you safely can. So stepping the feet wide, right now your feet are parallel to one another. And we'll start by turning that right foot and you want to out to 90 degrees. And then line up your right ankle with the instep of the left foot. And then keeping your torso upright, just bend that right knee so that it's stacked right over the ankle. And here's the important part. You want to keep that knee in line with your second and third toe. So in other words, don't let that thigh kind of collapse forward. Good. And you'll notice your left hip is pointing a little bit to the left. That's fine. From the waist up, though, you're going to turn and face the front. And then inhale as you bring the arms up to shoulder height. Remember, a modification could be keeping a hand on the hip. That's perfectly fine. And then turn your head to look out over that right shoulder, or right middle finger, right shoulder into the middle finger. Good, and continue to breathe. So make sure you're not leaning to the right. We'll do that in a moment. Good, just take a few breaths. Now, keeping the legs exactly as they are, we'll take an inhale. With the exhale, now you are going to lean to the right. Turn that right palm up, place your forearm on your thigh. The left arm, if you're okay, extending it up by your ear. We'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise, place it on your hip. Focus on opening up that left shoulder. So either here or for side angle. Good. Press into those feet. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then with the inhale, we'll lift that torso. Go ahead and straighten that right leg. So now we're going to come into triangle pose. So we'll bring those arms back up to shoulder height. Tighten the front of the top of that right thigh. Inhale. Now with your exhale, we're going to lean again to the right. You'll feel the weight go into that left hip. When you've gone as far as you can, bring that right hand down. It might be on your thigh, might be here on your shin, just not right on the knee joint. And then same as side angle, except you can extend the arm up, this time towards the ceiling, palm facing forward, or you can take that left hand and place it on your hip. Good. Focusing on opening up that left shoulder and breathing. I usually gaze right where the wall meets the ceiling. Good. And then with the inhale, press into those feet to help lift you back up. Good. All right, we've got another side to do here. So turn that right foot forward, turn that left foot out, again lining it up. All right, here we go. Bend that left knee from the waist up, facing forward, bringing those arms up. Good. And then turning to look out over that middle left finger. Good. Press into that left heel and the pinky toe of that right foot. Good. All right, let's come into side angle. Nice big inhale. With your exhale, lean to the left. And again, place your left forearm on your thigh. Sweep that right arm up next to your ear or on the hip. Good. And continue to breathe. Good, and then with the inhale, lift the torso. Now you're going to straighten the left knee, tighten the quadricep or the front of that left thigh. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, lean to the left as far as you can. Weight will go in that right hip. Bring the left hand down wherever you are, on the thigh, shin, maybe the ankle. The key here is that right shoulder and chest, as long as you can keep it open. If you feel yourself collapsing forward, bring that left hand up a little bit more so you can open up the chest. All right, this time right arm comes up towards the ceiling, palm forward, or hand on the hip. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then with an inhale, press into those feet as you lift the torso back up. Exhale the arms down. Turn that left foot in. And then a little heel-toe walk till you can step the legs together. All right, walk it out a little bit. And then we're going to come back down on the mat. We're going to come back on our side, laying on our side. So if you want to go ahead and open up that blanket again. And you will need your strap. So go ahead and bring yourself down. We'll start again by laying on our right side. And we did our leg lift warm up. So we're going to use that as our side balance. Now, the important thing in this side balance is just getting yourself lined up properly. So I know it's hard to balance because if you think about it, the side of your body is only, you know, a couple of inches wide. So you're on this very narrow piece of your body to balance. Here's what I want you to do. Start by extending your legs. You want to have your knees, your hips, and your shoulders in a straight line. So start by doing that. Now, depending on your balance, you may need to bend that right knee just to give you a little wider base of support. But at least try it and see. Now, you're going to extend the right arm out so that it's as much in line with your shoulder as you can. Then bend the elbow and bring your hand up and rest your head in your hand. So if you can, just try to get your elbow as close to in line with your shoulder as possible, just so that it's not here, but more here. All right, so we're going to be lifting the left leg up, and we're going to hold it there. So here's where your strap comes in. So bend that left knee. Put your strap around the ball of the foot. Come back to getting your elbow. I know if you bring it forward a little bit, that will also help. But try not to roll back on that right hip. Try to keep the pelvis forward. Now, if you extend that right leg, you're going to be like, wow, that's a lot of balance. All right, so holding that left leg up, use your strap. Good. Continue to breathe. This is one of those poses that's a lot harder than it looks, isn't it? Good, but you're really working those core muscles. Good. All right, let's bend that left knee and try it on the other side. So if you want to start, just put that strap around the right leg first, and then get yourself set up. So again, try to have the hip, shoulder, hip, and knee in a straight line. If you need to bend that left knee, that's fine. That'll give you a little more balance. Just try to keep the hips and shoulders in line then. If you want a challenge, one side's going to be easier than the other. And as I do that, I can feel myself rolling backwards. So that's why you want to keep the pelvis forward. I think I'm going to have to bend my knee on this side. And one side's going to be, you're just going to have better balance than the other. Good. All right. Hold it here. Take a couple of breaths. Good. All right. Go ahead and lower that right leg down. Remove your strap and keep your strap nearby. We're going to use it again in a second. And then from here, we're going to roll onto our belly as we come into our back bend. So we're going to come into locust pose. So laying on our backs. We'll start by warming up in cobra. So bringing the hands so that they're right underneath the shoulders, extending those legs. And remember, we want to set those legs up. So you want to reach through the big toe. So just lift your right leg up about an inch or so, reach through the big toe, and then rotate your thigh towards the midline of the body, or inward. Lay it back down, try it on the other side, turning the thigh inward. So when you lay your leg back down, you feel your ankles have fallen out to the side. And you should feel a widening right here in the base of the pelvis. All right. Pull the tailbone down towards your heels. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Hands right underneath the shoulders. And with an inhale, press into those hands, lifting the back of the neck, the chest, shoulders, keeping a bend in the elbows, just gazing a little bit in front of your mat. Good, and then with the exhale, go ahead and lower down. Release the arms alongside the body and just turn your head so that your right cheek is on the mat. And just completely release and let go. And then turning your head, so now your forehead and chin are facing the mat. Come back to lengthening through those legs again, just that setup that we just did. And again, pulling the tailbone down towards the heels, pressing the pubic bone into the mat. We're going to keep our arms alongside the body, and you're going to rotate your palms so that they're facing one another. And then with your next inhale, press into the pubic bone. Begin to lift the back of the neck, shoulders and chest. Keep those shoulders down the back. And then see if you can lift your legs up. Good, and continue to breathe. Keep that neck in line with the spine. Just gaze down at the mat. Good, and then as you exhale, release down, turn your head. So now your left cheek is on the mat and just completely relax it out. Good, and then slide those hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes. Bring yourself back to hands and knees. And we're actually going to turn over onto our backs. So if you want to bring your legs to the side and then lower yourself down. All right. So we're going to come into our bent knee twist. So bending those knees, sliding the feet up towards the sits bones. Extending the arms out to the side, turn the palms up. Press into your feet, and then pick your hips up just about an inch or two off the mat and shift them over to the left. And then pick your feet up off the mat, stack the knees over the hips, and then drop the knees to the right. Now focus on that left shoulder. Try to keep it as close to the mat as possible. Again, pressing into the back of the right hand will help you do that. And then turning to look out over that left shoulder. And you want to try to keep your knees in line with your hips. Otherwise, if they're more here, that's more strain in that low back. And pulling those knees up. Good. And then inhale, come back to center. Go ahead and place those feet down. Shift the hips back to center and then picking them up and shifting them to the right. Picking the feet up, now drop the knees to the left and turn to look out over that right shoulder. And breathe. Good, and then bringing those legs back to center. Bring the feet down to the mat, shift the hips back to neutral. Release your arms. And then go ahead and grab your strap. And we're going to come into Supta Pandangusthasana. So start by bending the right knee. Place the strap around the ball of the foot. And then let the strap extend as you extend the leg, making sure the back of the knee is straight. Walk your hands up the strap and then pull your shoulders down the back. At the same time, press that right thigh away from you. Now, you may want to leave the left knee bent to protect the low back if you have low back issues. Otherwise, extend the left leg, press through the heels. Good. And breathe. So you should be feeling a nice deep stretch. Again, pressing that thigh away from you will help to make sure that that hamstring behind the knee is being stretched. Good, and then go ahead and bend that right knee. Remove your strap, and we'll try that on the left. Good, remember to keep the right knee bent if you do need to protect that low back. Extend the arms, pull them down the back, press that left thigh away from you. Good. Just nice, easy breath. Good. And then go ahead and release. Remove your strap and just put it to the side. And then our last hip stretch, we're going to bend the knees. Take your right thigh and cross it over your left thigh. Actually, you may want your strap here too, because we're going to pick that left foot up and pull those thighs in towards us. If that's a little tight, take your strap, wrap it behind that left thigh, and you can, use that to help pull that thigh in. If you're okay here and you want to deepen the stretch, then you're going to hold on to your opposite shin. So my right hand is holding on to my left shin. my left hand on my right shin, and very gently pull those. You can kind of use that to pull those knees in a little bit tighter. Good, but again, monitor how that feels. If you're a little more flexible, you can even hold on to your ankles or feet and pull that in. You're going to feel that in the hips. So whatever is comfortable for you, so you feel that nice deep stretch. Good. And then go ahead and release those legs. And we'll try it on the other side. So left crosses over the right. Again, either using the strap to help pull the knees in or holding on to the shins. Good. And then go ahead and release those legs. Just extend those legs out, kind of shake through those legs. Good. Widen your feet, I don't know, about hip width. And then just take your feet and do this little windshield wiper with your feet. Just in and out. Good. And then coming into Savasana, so if you need to adjust your blanket or anything, go ahead and do that. I'm going to come up to a seated position, but you stay here on the mat. And I will fold my blanket. So whatever you need to be comfortable. So as you kind of wiggle it out, just begin to relax the body, come back to those feet, just letting the ankles fall out to the sides. Arms are a little bit away from the body, palms rotated up towards the ceiling, just to open up that chest. And then go ahead and close the eyes. Turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. Feel the breath as it enters the nostrils and flows into the lungs. Focus on the rib cage as it expands with each inhale and contracts with each exhale. And then focus on the physical body. Relax all the muscles from the feet, all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension, tightness. thoughts, worries, or anxieties. And if these try to come back in, just acknowledge them and release them, turning the attention back to the breath. And again, focus on the inhale and the exhale. And allow yourself just a few moments to completely let go. Begin to deepen your breath. And then start moving your fingers and toes. And then the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, bending both knees and rolling onto your right side in a fetal position. And just taking a few breaths here. And then using your left hand to support you, go ahead and push yourself back up into your seated position. And keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for just another moment. Focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then we'll take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.